Yeah, hi, Ian here in this Path to Paradise. I meet so many people that have been so traumatized in their life, and it's like the hurt and pain just goes from one experience to another of hurt and pain, another. It's like they're attracting all this stuff into their life beyond their conscious mind because nobody would do this on purpose. So what is going on here and how do you get out of that cycle? How do you break that cycle? So in my life, I experienced this lack of love, this emptiness, this longing to be loved, this deep, deep, deep need to feel love. And in doing so, that want and that need um, led me to make choices that were nowhere near in my best interest and always led to a disaster. So it, in my life, occurred that, time and time again when I tried to uh, overcome this hurt and pain and fill it from an external source, it led to more hurt and pain. So how did I overcome this and how do you go about it? Well, you see, that hurt and pain originated within me through a perception that I needed love, and I would try to fill that externally. So, in trying to do that, I was coming from that neediness all the time. I was extremely needy, and I wanted so badly to feel that love that it helped me sort of overlook all the warning signs, all the signals that this wasn't going to end well. So, I ended up in absolute horrific relationship that, it led me to the lowest point of my life. And I'm not blaming the other person. It's me. It happened because of the choices that I was making and the reason I made those choices. So when I finally started to, when I hit the rock bottom and I finally wanted to wake up and to change my life, what I had to do was look at, okay, what uh, has led me to these choices? Why have I made this choice? So I would look at, okay, what are the thoughts, the ideas, the beliefs that I thought that this was a good idea? And what are the emotions that are being triggered and stimulated within me? And it took years before I got to this stage, but then I started to allow myself to experience the depth of those emotions, the depth of the hurt and the pain that resided within me. And bit by bit, through looking at why I made those choices, what was involved in that, and it was always that neediness, that wanting, that I began to undo those patterns. So in that patterning that I had, I would overlook all the warning signs, all the signals. There's a great quote from Maya Angelou, and she says, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Well, I didn't see that, you know. So regardless of all the signs, I just marched on looking to have this need filled from this external source. And again, it led to disaster, to the lowest point in my life, and got me to sort of, there was nowhere to go but change. So again, every time that I felt a negative emotion, I would look at, okay, what is the need within me? Why am I wanting something? And what it is contributing on an unconscious level? What are the filters that have led me to this choice? Because when we're trying to keep ourselves from hurt and pain, from those negative types of emotions, we unconsciously filter out all all the signs, all the signals in trying to avoid that hurt, that pain. But what we're getting back is more opportunities to recognize within us that hurt and pain and to deal with those, to heal those. Now, healing begins when we allow ourselves to feel fully the emotions involved, when we begin to understand what the patterning is and unravel that. See, I, I exist in a place that I call pure choice, you know. I'm no longer afraid of my emotions. Any emotion is okay with me. Um, but I don't get to experience those negative types of emotions very often because I'm making a choice from a more pure state that I see the signs. My understanding, my vision has cleared to a place where I said is pure choice. So in order to get there, we have to be unafraid of ourselves because those emotions are within us. They're part of our human body. Okay. So we are not our thoughts and we are not our emotions and we are not our beliefs, right? We are the watcher, the observer, the awareness that sees these sorts of things. But we've mistaken this hurt and pain for us. We've mistaken our beliefs for us. We've mistaken our thoughts for us. And that's the problem because they come from a disconnected state. And life is attempting to reconnect us to the essence of who we are, to become more fully a human being through our beingness. So undoing all that patterning results in the ability to surrender more, to accept more, whatever comes our way. And when we begin to do this, we're trusting in an intellect, an intelligence far beyond this idea and far beyond the filters that lead to these restricted choices. See, we are life itself, and everything is life. Everything is God. You know, we are God itself having a human experience, and everything is that God. So all our experiences, etc., are attempting to lead us home to that realization, to that beingness that exists within. But we've mistaken ourselves for the thoughts, our emotions and beliefs. And these need to be undone in order to overcome the hurt, the pain. See, that's part of our physical human experience. But it's an early stage, you know, because no longer do I have that hurt and pain. And even if I experience something like an anxiety or something that most people would call negative, to me it's an opportunity. All these things, the hurt, the pain, etc., would be opportunities to unravel aspects of the disconnected self and come home to the truth of my being. And that, to me, is what life is all about. There's a vast intelligence within and without. And that's what I'm talking about in surrendering. Allow life to reveal itself to you. But in order to do that, we need to get over the fact that we think that life has brought us these things. No, we've brought them to ourselves. Firstly and foremost, through our birth and our birth parents, we might have suffered trauma or hurt and pain there. But we chose that. As a soul level, we chose that to set us up for a life of fulfillment, of completeness, of fullness, of joy, of love, etc. So that was part of something that we've carried through and something that the soul wanted to experience. Now, after that, we've perpetuated that hurt and pain on an unconscious level. And this isn't about blaming. You don't blame a baby that has learned to walk for falling over. And we shouldn't blame ourselves for acting on unconscious wants and needs. But the best thing we can do is to become aware of this, to become conscious of these things, because that is the point of change. And then we can settle back into the beingness that we truly are and have life reveal itself in unimaginable ways. Because once you've cleared that hurt and pain, once you've cleared those traumatic experiences, they're no longer filters through which you attract experience. You're coming home to yourself through the portal of the heart, which is pure love. You're coming home to the truth of who you are, which is pure love. And to me, this is what life is about and what life is attempting to show us. So it's about accepting and surrendering into life itself. See, when you get to the stage where these things have healed, you no longer need to concern yourself with how life is going to show itself, because life just gets better and better and better once you've cleared the crap. So come home to yourself. Begin to look at what are the emotions involved. Allow yourself to feel, because they are not you. They exist within you as part of your humanity, but they are not you. You are the observer, the witness, the awareness that these things occur within. And you are not your beliefs. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of these as well. Now, knowing that and coming from that space is going to allow you to heal on a deeper level. And that's what it's all about. So I hope this helps. And I sincerely wish you all the best in your journey. Thank you.